goiter problem. Do y'all know what a goiter problem? It's like when they have the big, thick neck, right? And it's a thyroid problem. And you know that problem can be completely alleviated with a 10-minute surgery, 10-minute operation, and it's gone. In Tanzania, they have a decent medical system, but it's a pay-for-play deal. In other words, you pay for your doctor or your hospitalization or whatever. This woman with this goiter problem has, and it costs, by the way, $31 for this 10-minute operation. She has been saving for just over 5 years. 5 years, and she has $22. Twice a week, she doesn't eat. She has a newborn child who's going to be another mouth to feed, so she's feeling that it's going to take her another 5 years to get the other $9. So you would think, for goodness sake, someone just send her the stupid $9. Problem. There are millions, what's the word? Millions. Of people in this situation. Millions. Not one, not two, not 10, not 10,000, and not hundreds of thousands. Millions in this situation. So how can you help them better? By being broke or being rich enough to be able to do something about it? Do you understand what I'm saying? And I get this all the time. I get people saying, well, you know, what about the environment? What about this? And what about they're taking all the oil and they're killing all the forest and all that? They. Yes, some of them are. You want to save the environment? Get rich, buy a few million acres and save it. You're going to have some power and control over your land. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes or no? Yes. Take responsibility is what I want to say on that. Okay, this one over here, one more here. This is critical. The third reason is for what? Who you have to become in order to create wealth. In other words, who do you have to be in character, in virtue, in traits? How big do you have to be to get rich versus, being broke? And there's certain characteristics that it takes to be incredibly successful. Because what creates success? And isn't it one of the things being one of the best in your field? Yes or no? Yes or no? Absolutely. Who do you have to be? What do you have to know? Who do you have to be in character to be the best at what you do in order to get paid the most? Does that make sense to you? So who do you have to become? It's a learning process. And that brings us to the next way that rich people actually think quite differently and are quite different than most other. Rich people are what? Bigger than their problems. What is it? Bigger than their problems. And most other people are what? Smaller than their problems. Smaller. And the secret, guys, I want you to hear something right now. If you will just understand and take action on this one right here, I promise you, mano a mano, heart to heart, your life will just skyrocket. It will go to a whole other level, and you'll see why in a moment. Are you ready? Yes. Listen closely. The secret to success, my friends, is not to try and avoid or get rid of your problems. The secret to success is to grow yourself so you are bigger than any problem. We got the size of you, and we got the size of your problem. And let's do a little scale here. So here we are. Here's you and here's your problem. And we are dealing with, say, a level 5 problem. But you happen to be a level 2 person. Question, is that a big problem or a little problem? That's a big problem, right? But let's say you grow yourself to, say, be a level 8 person. Same problem. Big problem, little problem. Little problem. Now let's say you work with us and you grow yourself to be, say, a level 10 person. Big problem, little problem. No problem. It doesn't even exist in the realm of your mind as a problem. You don't see it as a problem. It's just something to take care of, yes or no? Yes. Let's test this out. How many of you have ever been in a conversation with somebody who's talking about their problem and you go to them and you go, I don't see the problem here. Raise your hand if you ever had that happen. Everyone's had that happen. Everyone. Because at that point in time, they are smaller than their problem. So it's not about the size of the problem, it's about the size of you. There's always going to be problems, yes or yes? There's so many times in this business, and I'm sure in your business, but when you get to a higher and higher level, the responsibilities become greater. The amount of money invested becomes more. We have 140 employees. There are staff people. There's huge overheads and lots of what? Quote unquote problems. And my wife says to me all the time, Harv, why did you choose such a hard business? And I go, it's not about the business. It's about me. Because if I can't handle the problems here, you think I can handle the problems there? Because problems are going to be with you all the time. True or true? And running away from them or playing small because you don't want any problems, that's crazy. Let's face it, we're going to have quote-unquote problems. But the size of those quote-unquote problems will depend on the size of us, not the problem. Raise your hand if you've ever felt like, I don't want to get into the big leagues because there's so many problems there. I just want to have a nice, simple life. Raise your hand. Be honest. Come on. More than half of you in here. How's it working so far? You still have the problems, but you're broke. That's the biggest problem of all. True or true? I figure it this way. If I'm going to have problems, I might as well get rich. All right. So I'm going to give you a little anchor. Who knows what an anchor is? An anchor is what? A trigger so you can remember something. So here's what I want you to do. From now on, every time you look at something you perceive as a major problem in your life, here's what I want you to do. Are you ready? I want you to do this. Mini me, mini me, mini me, mini me. So you can remind yourself that if that's a big problem, you must be very small right now. And you better put your attention where it belongs. What? On the problem or on you? On you. That's right, on you. And you don't give up, and you don't get taken out, and you don't bail out, and you don't say, well, this is too hard. I want to do something different. How many have ever said something like that? How many say something like that almost every day? It's not the size of the problem. Have you heard the saying, fortunately or unfortunately, you take yourself with you wherever you go? That's what my answer is to my wife. How could you choose such a hard business? It's not the business, it's moi. True or true? If it's hard, it's because I made it hard. If it's easy, because I make it easy. If it's successful, it's because I made it successful. If it's unsuccessful, it's because I made it unsuccessful. True or true? Doesn't just happen to us. So, the fact is that your wealth can only grow to the extent that you do. So the goal is to grow yourself so you can handle any problems that get in your way of creating wealth, and just as importantly, keeping your wealth once you've got it. And who knew that would be an issue? You know what? This is only reserved for certain people in this room. People who have or have had a lot of money and know that it's one complete world to make it. And it's a whole other world to keep it. True or true? That is a whole other world. And again, it's not about the it. It's about you. It's about you. And so, really, you're like a container. Say, I'm a container. And if the container is small, but the money is big, what has to happen? That's right, the money goes. The money goes. Do y'all understand that? Let me say this again. If you, the container, is small, but somehow the money is big, what has to happen? It doesn't fit. It has to go somewhere else. True or true? So you have to grow yourself so you become a big, big container. So you can attract and hold money. And one of the things we do in our programs is we focus on not only growing yourself as a container, but consistently growing yourself. Because if you want raise your hand if you want your money to consistently grow. Remember, your money can only grow to the extent that you do. So if you want your money to grow, who has to grow? I do. Now you got it. Now you got it. Now you've got the root. You have to keep up with the money. Let me put it another way. Your money has kept up with you. I'll say it again. Your money has kept up with you. If your money's here, it's because you're here. Does that make any sense? If your money's here, it's because you're here. If you're here and your money's here, it's going to have to meet you. It'll always grow to the extent that you do, and always come down to the extent that you are. Raise your hand if you've ever heard stories about people who are doing really well and then they messed up in their relationships, messed up with habits or with drugs or alcohol, and what happened to their money? Always comes down to meet them. No? Yes? Your money is at the same level you are, my friends. And that's not a derogatory thing. That's to make sure you start to focus your attention where you need to. Personally, I always looked outside of myself. Once I do this marketing thing, and once I understand this real estate, and once I do this, and once I... But it wasn't about any of those things. It was about the size of me. Was I able to attract and hold and grow the money? True or true? I hope you get it. Now, so, like I said, you must grow yourself to be a big container so you can attract and hold big wealth. And here's the beautiful thing about it. If you are a big container, if you are a big person, and your intention is to have wealth, a lot of money, but right now you don't have it, guess what has to happen? What has to happen? The money has to come. Why? Because it's a universal principle. And the universal principle says that the universe abhors a vacuum and will rush in to fill any space that's created for it. And if you're a big container, but you only have a little money right now, the money has to come if that's your intention. True or true? You know, it reminds you. Good. That's good news, isn't it? You keep working on you. You're on the right track. You're on the right track here. You know, my favorite plant is the Chinese bamboo plant, along with that line. Why? Because this is a very interesting plant in that you plant the seeds and you look after the first year, there's nothing there. And you look in the second year, and there's nothing there. And you look in the third year, and there's nothing there. You say, forget it. Somehow the seeds didn't take hold. I got no tree here. In the fourth year, there's nothing there. But in the fifth year, all of a sudden you see a little sprout. And then listen to this. In 6 weeks, how long? 6 weeks. That plant can grow to 90 feet. 90 feet in 6 weeks. How could that be possible? Because what was it doing for 5 whole years? Growing its roots. Like you guys. Growing its roots. So that when it does pop, it can withstand that incredible growth. What would happen if it didn't grow those roots so deep and thick? The first big wind that comes, it's gone. How many people know people that that's happened to? Because the roots weren't dug deep enough. Do you understand? Give someone a high five and say, you're on the right track. That's why it's so imperative that you keep learning and growing. Learning and what? Growing. Because listen closely. This is very important. Because if you're not growing, you're automatically what? Dying. I'm going to say it again. If you're not growing, you're what? Dying. If you're not sure that's a scientific fact. I'm not a scientist, but ask any scientist and any person who's involved in physics. Raise your hand if you have a plant or flower at home. If your plant's not growing, what's it doing? It's dying. Any living organism, same with us. And that's why I have a message for all you guys and all you gals who are a little, say, semi-retired or retired or a little older and going, there's nothing left to do. Just kind of play around. That's okay. But guess what? You're going down. You're going down. If you're not growing, you're what? Dying. That's why being comfortable sucks. That's why it sucks. Because you can't stay comfortable. You can't stay stagnant. You're either going up or down. It's a dynamic universe. Yes or yes? Yes. So forget comfortable. You keep on growing. Well, I don't want to kill myself. What does that mean? I don't want to kill myself. What do you think? To grow, you have to kill yourself? No, being comfortable and stagnant, that kills you. It's not these either-or stuff, these words I don't want to kill myself. I'm never going to have time for anything. Well, why don't you create time for things you want to do and create time for business and create time for your family? I don't know how to do that. Good. Then you learn. You learn how to do that. Good or good? That's one of the other things, too. I talk about exploding money myths. You'll say, well, I'm incompetent with money. I just can't handle money. I'm not good with money. That's your reason? Well, I'm not a good piano player. But if I wanted to play piano, I'd what? Learn. Hello. We don't come out of the womb doing money. Most of us got taught. But what about taking the responsibility and accountability and going out there and learning it? Learning the field you need to learn. Learning the investments you need to learn. Learning how to do money. When people are at my seminar and they go, I'm incompetent with money. I'm just not good at it. And that's their reason? It's crazy. Learn how to do it. Good or good? Listen, no excuses. No excuses, no reasons. In our Enlightened Warrior Training Camp, we have a flip chart that says, reasons or results. And the big one is what? Or. Reasons or results. You cannot have both. If you have a reason, you know you didn't get the result. True or true? So, the result is rich. Yes? Yes. And everything else is your story. It's just not the right time now. Thanks for sharing. That's great. You're broke. All right. Please stand up for the declaration. Hands on your heart. I am bigger than any problem. I can handle any problem. Nothing will stop me from creating wealth. Turn to somebody, give them a high five and say, you have a millionaire mind. All right, this one is really, really important. Recall the process of manifestation. Say it with me. Your thoughts lead to your feelings, lead to actions, lead to results. Which one is the highlighted one? Action. How many people agree to succeed in the real world, you have to take what? Let's see if that's true. Why is that? Thoughts and feelings, are they part of the inner world or part of the outer world? Inner world, thank you. Results, part of the inner world or part of the outer world? Outer world. And therefore, action becomes the what? The bridge between the inner world and the outer world. Do you understand? So, you can think all you want about wealth and success. You can meditate. Listen, I've meditated for 25 years. But I've never been meditating there and had a bag of money drop on my head. I'm one of these unfortunate souls that actually has to do something in the real world to get any of the stuff. A lot of people are very kind and generous and wonderful, well-intentioned people. They just don't do anything. Or they don't do anything at a high enough level or take enough massive action to get anything done. They just talk about it, they think about it, they meditate it, but nothing actually happens in the physical world. And if you want physical money, you'll need to transfer into the physical realm from the mental, emotional, spiritual sides. And the way to transfer from those three invisible to the visible, from under the ground to above the ground, into the physical realm is through the process of action. True or true? That's why action is absolutely critical. Now, if that's true, what prevents us from taking the action we know we need to be taking? Fear. Thank you. How many people agree that fear and doubt and worry are among our greatest obstacles, not only to success, but to happiness as well? Excellent. And therefore, one of the biggest differences between rich people and most other people is that rich people are willing to do this. What's it say? One of the other programs we teach is called the Enlightened Warrior Training. And it says that the true warrior can tame the cobra of fear. What's the key word? Tame. It doesn't say kill the cobra. It doesn't say get rid of the cobra. It doesn't say run away from the cobra. It says what? Tame the cobra of fear. Let me say this right now. My friends, listen closely. Listen closely. Are you listening? Yes. It is not necessary to try and get rid of fear in order to succeed. Rich and successful people have fear. Rich and successful people have doubts. Rich and successful people have worries. They just don't let those feelings stop them and take them out. Unsuccessful people have exactly the same feelings, but they let those feelings stop them, paralyze them into thinking, oh my God, what will happen out of this? And they're done. True or true? A lot of people believe that rich people don't have fear. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. So, how many people agree we're creatures of habit? Yes? And therefore the secret is to practice. What's the word? Practice acting in spite of fear. Practice acting in spite of doubt. Practice acting in spite of worry. Practice acting in spite of inconvenience. Inconvenience. If your life is about convenience, you'll never be rich. Let me say this right now. It's not always convenient to do what it takes to get rich. And practice acting in spite of discomfort. It's the same thing, as I said earlier. I'm going to challenge you right now, as I do with all of my students. Are you willing? Are you willing? Yes. I want you to find uncomfortable situations and move into them. I want you to look for uncomfortable situations and get involved in them. And when something becomes uncomfortable for you, that's when you go into it. You understand that? Why? Because, let me ask you a question. We talked about it earlier. When you're comfortable, you're in what zone? You're in your what? Your comfort zone. And in your comfort zone, are you growing or dying? You're going down. So you've got to get uncomfortable. Until you're uncomfortable, you're not growing. Are you willing? So the only time you're growing is when you're uncomfortable. Say, the only time I'm growing is when I'm uncomfortable. Pat someone in the back and go, you're growing, man, you're growing. You can always tell rich people, you can always tell middle-class people, you can almost always tell broke people by the actions they're willing to take and not take. How much comfort or convenience runs their life. You know, one of the things we talk about is that at the end of our programs, usually we talk about the 3-day Million Mind Intensive. And very often someone will stand up and say something like, they'll say, well, you know, it's not being held in the city that we're in right now, and I'd have to take a flight and fly for 4 hours and, get a hotel and this and that, and it's just so inconvenient. And I have 2 words. You're broke. You're broke. You have to be broke. If a 4-hour drive or a 4-hour flight or a 4-day flight is going to stop you from doing whatever it takes you have to do to succeed, then what else will stop you? Here's the easy answer. Anything. Anything will stop you. Why? Because you are a person that will be stopped. Now, you choose. Either you are a person that will be stopped or you are a person that will not be stopped. One or the other. And here's the thing. You have to train yourself to not be stopped. It's a practice. You have to train yourself to not be stopped. Because it's easy to be stopped. And most of us were unstoppable at one point, and then day 2 of our lives happened. And we got taught. We got what? To stop for our safety. supposedly. But we generalized it to everything. True or true? Look, you can throw my philosophy right out, but here's my philosophy. If it isn't going to kill you physically, do it. Just do it. One of the things I've been noticing lately with a lot of the rich people I've been dealing with, very rich people, is they're willing to take a shot. It's amazing. I'm a lot less risk prone than they are, but I also see where I am and where they are. Now I do pretty well, but these guys do amazing. And it's like you give them a proposal and they go, "That makes sense. That could work. Yeah, all right, let's give it a shot." And I'm going, "Well, I'm not sure it's going to work." "I know, but let's give it a shot." "Well, I'm not that sure that's going to." "I know, but let's go for it. Let's give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? Oh, we lose a few bucks, we try another thing." "Well, okay." You understand what I'm saying? They're willing to go for it. And we, like if someone's going to get a little upset with us, no, I don't want to do that then. Well, what if I lose what I've got? No, I don't want to do that. I'm going to keep it simple. If it's not going to kill you physically, do it. You'll be so much better off in the end than waiting for the exact right moment and time. By the way, when's the exact right moment in time? When you feel comfortable. Notice? It's got you coming and going. And so it doesn't let you be comfortable so that you can make sure it keeps you out of harm's way. Because your mind is a protective mechanism. Its job is to protect you, not to help you succeed or be happy. Did you know that? Good or good? All right, good. So, please stand up for the declaration. One more here. I act in spite of fear. I act in spite of doubt. I act in spite of worry. I act in spite of inconvenience. I act in spite of discomfort. I act in spite of anything. Turn to somebody, give them a high five and say, "You have a millionaire mind." This is a 45-pound arrow with a nice steel tip on the end of it, a wooden arrow here. And in a moment, I am going to pick one of you to come up here and break this arrow in a highly unusual way. So you all better listen very closely. Are you listening? Yes. All right, good. Everyone hold up your index finger. Excellent, good. Now, take it and press it into the soft part of your throat and push in really hard. If you start to gag and choke, you've got the right spot. That's where you'll be breaking the arrow. Now, the arrow break is a metaphor. What is it? It's a metaphor, symbolizing breaking through an obstacle that's happening in your life. So let me show you what this is going to look like. Michelle, if you can come up here, that'd be awesome. What this is going to look like. Just hold on to that for a second here. All right. So what's going to happen in a moment, just bring your hand up here for a second. What's going to happen in a moment with this person is going to be coming up here. They're going to put the back of the arrow into the glove and the steel tip point into their throat like that, okay? And then when they're ready, or if they're not ready, they're going to walk into the arrow and hopefully break the arrow before it impales them. What? Hopefully. Hey, we have a very good track record. We're up to like 65% now. That's a passing grade, you know. All right. Now, a few rules. Rule number 1. When you're up here, you absolutely must keep your mouth closed when you're doing this. Who can tell me why? That's right, splinters. And by the way, we didn't always know that. Rule number 2. You're going to be covering your eyes with goggles, okay? There's another set over here for you. And rule number 3, walk directly into the arrow, straight on. do not twist to the side. Because if you twist to the side, what can happen is it can get caught in this artery right here and pull the artery right out, and it looks really funny when you have this artery sticking out of your neck like this, and you can't even go to the doctor. Like, what are you going to say? It's like, what happened? You don't want to know, okay? So you're not going to believe it. All right. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to show you how this works. And here's the deal. The fourth rule is massive support. What kind of support? Massive. What kind of support? Massive. That means we're all on one team, yes? So when this person breaks this, I want everybody to give them a massive standing ovation, right? Yeah. All right, good. Now, that's when the person comes here. Let's talk a little bit about, let me show you how this is going to work, all right? So I'll do a little demonstration for you. So here's the deal. If I break the arrow, if I break the arrow tonight, I want massive round of applause. Yes? If the arrow happens to break through me tonight, I want someone to pick up the phone, turn it on, and call 911. Yes? All right, are you ready? All right. These things are sharper than they used to be. No wonder I don't do this anymore. Thank you. Excellent. Have a seat. Oh my gosh, look what I found. A steel arrow. This one's like so nervous she's scratching herself. I like the people who throw their pencils down to look for them so that I can't see them. Who's never done anything like this, but has something, hold on, as I said, hold on. This is a metaphor. A metaphor means it's something that you are trying to break through tonight. Never done anything, would be scared to death to do this. Who'd be totally scared? She doesn't look too scared to me. Are you? Okay, come on up here. Give a round of applause. Okay. What's your name? Nicole, okay. Yeah, the first thing we have to do, Nicole, is take care of some legal work. Here you go. Here you go. So you're going to sign a release form. Seriously? Yeah, seriously. Are you kidding me? So print your name over here. It basically says that we accept no responsibility for your death or injury. Okay. And the date today is what? Okay. You had a nice neck. And just sign your name over here. And are you here with somebody? Yes. Okay, so your mom is here, okay. And she let you come up here? She doesn't know? Yeah. Put your phone number there. And again, unfortunately now, because of some recent situations, you have to put an emergency contact here. Now, remember what we said about support, right? Okay. Now, here's the deal. Okay, you're doing great. Perfect. Good. Now, hold on to this. And here's how this is going to work. Just wait for a second here. Now, remember I said that the arrow break is a metaphor. What is it? Metaphor. So it represents something that you want to break through in your life, a belief or a habit or a fear or a way of being that hasn't been working for you, right? Now, so your name was what? Nicole. Nicole is going to represent all of us, everybody, yes? All right. So here's how this is going to work. So she's breaking for you right now. This is what we're going to frame this. She's breaking for you right now, And so I want everybody to close their eyes. Everybody looking at this, watching it, hearing it, close your eyes. And I want you to determine what is it that you want this arrow break to mean for you. What does it represent? What does it symbolize you breaking through in your life? What specific fear or doubt or concern or belief or habit or way of being or situation does it mean you breaking through as a metaphor in your life? And come up with one. And the same with you, Nicole. Okay. Please open your eyes. And let's hear from Nicole. What was it here for you?
Just limiting beliefs about being.
So limited, be as specific as possible. What is it specifically?
Basically that men have the money and women don't.
Excellent. That's so what she said. Can I share it? That men have the money and women don't. And that's a belief that a lot of people carry. Yes? Yeah. Men carry that too. That's why they handle money in certain ways. True or true? And many, many women grew up with that belief. Yes? It's very hard to break that belief, but we're going to break it right now. So here's the belief that men have the money and women don't. Got it? Now, unfortunately, we're going to have to turn this around this way. All right, put that on your eyes. And don't go until I tell you to. Michelle's going to be holding for you. All right. And so what I'd like you to do is, Nicole, stand over here. That's it. Move right this way. Come towards her a bit this way. Okay, good. Now, come on closer over here. Okay, now don't go until I ask you to. And now put 1 foot forward, 1 foot back a bit. That's it. You're going to be walking straight in when I tell you to go. And keep your shoulders square, okay? Now, don't go yet. How does that feel? How does it feel? Is it comfortable or uncomfortable?
Uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable. Good. You ain't felt nothing yet. Wait till that thing goes in. Okay, hold on. Here's the deal. Here's it. See, are you sure it's in the right place? You're a perfectionist?
No.
Yeah, you are, aren't you? Yeah, it's got to be perfect, right? No, it's not. But that doesn't matter. Here's the deal. Whatever your mind is telling you right now, just let your mind chatter. It's okay. But don't believe it. Because you saw me do it. It's doable. And if anybody can do it, you can do it. Say, I can do it.
I can do it.
So, this is a steel rod. What's your throat? Steel rod. What is it? This is a toothpick. What's this?
Toothpick.
So in a moment, you're just going to look at Michelle. You're going to go give her a hug. You're going to forget this even exists. You're just going to walk right into it and don't even think about it. You guys ready? Yeah. Ready, go. Hard. Yeah! Yeah, girl. Hold those up. Hold those up. Hold it up. Way to go. Now, stay here for a second. Stay here for a second. Look at that. Now, okay, go ahead. Now, question. Was that harder or easier than you thought it was going to be? Yeah, the actual act was easier than what she thought it was going to be. Yes? All right. Give her a round of applause. Thank you so much. Let me talk about your mind right now. Remember, she said it's easier than she thought it was going to be. And let me say this right now. I'm going to guarantee that 99.999% of all the things you think that you can't do, that are going to be way too hard, too many problems, are easier than you think they're going to be. Raise your hand if that's ever happened for you, where your mind has made something up to be, oh my God, and then when you did it, it was like, what was the big deal about? True or true? Let's talk about that. Let's listen closely. Your mind is the greatest soap opera scriptwriter in history. It makes up incredible stories, usually based in dramas and disasters, of things that never happened and things that never will. Mark Twain said it best. He said, I've had thousands and thousands of problems in my life, most of which never actually happened. It's very important. One of the most important things you can ever understand, is that you are not your mind. Say, I'm not my mind. You are much bigger and greater than just your mind. Your mind is a part of you, like your hand is a part of you. Your hand isn't you, but it's a part of you. You wouldn't introduce yourself as your hand, would you? Hi, I'm my hand. What if you had a hand that was much like your mind? It was scattered all over the place. It was constantly beating you up, and it never shut up. Yada, 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 yada. In the car, yada, 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 yada. In the shower, yada, 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 yada. What would you do if you had a hand like that? Cut it off. No. It's a very powerful thing. What would you do with it? That's right. You learn to want to control it. You learn to train it. You learn to manage it. True or true? And that's the critical piece. Training and managing your own mind is the most important skill a human being could ever own. Do you understand this? I'm saying it again. Training and managing your own mind, that voice that you so believe, is the most important skill you could possibly own. For with that skill, you truly will be successful, and you truly can be happy. Do you understand this? Because I'm going to say this right now, and a lot of you are going to shoot me for it. But there's only one thing that can stop you. The voice. Not yourself. The voice. The voice. That you've bought into that that's who you are. That voice is not you. It's simply a part of you. That it's the protective mechanism part of you. Its job is to protect you. It's like the sentry on a ship. It's not there to be the social coordinator, the success coordinator, the happiness coordinator. That's not its job. Your mind is a survival mechanism. And its primary purpose is to protect you, which means to keep you where you are. It's like an overworried mother. It's doing its job way too well, but we buy into it. What would your life be like if you had an overworried mother constantly ragging on you? No, 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 no. What would your life be like? You would be so contracted and small, you'd never do anything. True or true? True. Yet to an extent, we're all like that. We're listening. We're buying the voice of protection when there's no need to do it. That voice is not who you are. You are much bigger than that. When Nicole came up here, she was shaking. She couldn't even, that's what what was her mind telling her? Oh, what did I get myself into? Why did I do this? You're so stupid, Nicole. Why do you? Well, maybe she didn't say quite that, but something like that. And then she's doing it, and we're pushing it, and she goes, oh my God, like this is way harder than I thought. And her mind goes, blah, 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 blah. And then she goes, boop, no problem. And isn't that the way it is? Yes or yes? So, let me say this right now. In my book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, the final wealth file, number 17, says this. Rich people are willing to what? Learn and grow. And most poor and middle-class people think they what? Already know. They already know. Let me say this right now. I'm going to complete with one of my famous sayings. And the saying is this. You can learn to do anything. You can learn to succeed. Every master was once a disaster. I'll say it again. Say it with me. Every master was once a disaster. Everybody who's great at something today was once terrible at it. So it doesn't matter where you're starting from. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody starts somewhere. Some start here, some start here, some start over there. Everyone's got some type of ailments, handicaps, problems. Even if you don't have a problem, your mind will tell you you do. I had a woman the other day come up to me and say, I don't know what it is. It's just, I get to a certain level and there's always a situation that comes up. Something always happens and it screws me up. What is it? I said, if you look in the mirror, you'll find it. It is so easy to determine people's obstacles because there's only one of them right there. The voice in your head that stops you, tells you no, gives you doubt, and suffocates your life. And my blessing and my promise to you is if you challenge that voice and stop believing everything it tells you and just go for it anyways, in spite of fear, in spite of it chattering, you will soar to a level you have never experienced before in your life. So how many of you realize that your mind is a very powerful force? It can work for you or it can work what? Against you. The rule is really simple. If you are earning less than $50,000 a year and you want to earn $100,000 or more, you're going to have to change your money blueprint. Money what? Blueprint. If you're earning $100,000, you want to earn $200,000, you have to change your money what? Blueprint. If you want to go from $200,000 to $500,000, you have to change your money what? Blueprint. If you're earning good money but you're not managing it well, you have to change your money what? Blueprint. If your income is inconsistent, you have to change your money what? Blueprint. Excellent. Good. If you work way too hard and you want to be able to earn as much money or more with more balance, you have to change your money what? Blueprint. If your investments aren't zooming, you have to change your money what? If your business isn't booming, that's a result. You have to change your money what? If you have money and you want to make sure you keep it and you grow it, you have to change your money what? Excellent. And unfortunately, your current money blueprint will tend to stay with you for the rest of your life unless you identify it and you change it. And that's exactly what we do in an extraordinary 3-day program called the Millionaire Mind Intensive. It's changed the lives of thousands and thousands and thousands of people all over the world. And if it's okay with you, I'd like to tell you just a little bit about it and give you 2 critical principles. Fair enough? All right, listen closely. The first part is called winning the money game. What's it called? There are proven strategies for creating fast financial freedom, and you have to know them. Millionaire Mind Intensive, you're going to learn exactly how rich people play the money game so you can do what? Model exactly what they do. Let me ask you a question. If you had a parent, let's say a father, for example, that when you grew up, your parents were extremely rich. But not only were they rich financially, they were rich emotionally, spiritually, they were kind and loving, and they taught you the ropes of how to do money. How many of you think you could be doing a lot better right now? Exactly. Exactly. And that's what you're going to be able to do. Rich people have a very specific way of playing the money game, and you're going to learn to do exactly what they do. And this includes learning how to create massive amounts of passive income. Raise your hand if you believe passive income is important. Someone tell me why. What's the word? Freedom. Thank you. Freedom. What's the word? Without passive income, you can never be what? Free. Now, here's where it gets interesting. This is why almost all the other trainers out there send their students to us. Did you know that just about everyone is programmed not to earn passive income? Not to earn it. Programmed not to earn it. You're not sure? Maybe we should test this out. Let me ask you a question. When you were 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, and you needed money, what did your parents say to you? Did they say, well, then go out there and earn some passive income? Did they say that? What did they do? Go to work. Go get a... And that's exactly what we did. We went to work. And we learned, what's the word? We learned that we work for money. We learned to have money, you must what? Raise your hand if you were taught that. Everybody was taught that. Yeah, and hard too, for a lot of you. But money comes from work, yes or no? And so that's the dendrite. That's the neurological pathway. That's the path of least resistance in your brain. And it's unnatural and completely unfamiliar and discomfortable for your brain to know passive income. It doesn't work for it. And so what happens is either people don't start in that arena, or if they do start, they get a little ways and then they sabotage themselves to go right back to 72 degrees. What the thermostat is set for, which is working for money. Do you understand that? Let me say this right now. Familiar Mind Intensive, when you walk out of there, you will be reconditioned so that passive income is your path of least resistance. It will be the primary way that you prefer, believe, and act in accordance with creating money. Good or good? It'll be a natural thing for you. Good? Now, let me say this also. You're also going to learn the world's easiest money management method. Managing your money is another critical difference between rich people and poor and middle class people. I'm going to tell you a story that can change your life. Are you willing? Yes. Are you willing? Yes. Imagine you're with a 5-year-old child. You're walking down the street. You come across an ice cream store. And you go into the store and get the child a single scoop of ice cream on a cone because they don't have any cups. The child is only 5 years old. They have very little hands. They're kind of wobbly. And as they walk out the door, it jostles them. And the ice cream falls out of the cone onto the ground. Being the kind and generous person that you are, what do? You walk back into the store. And just as you're about to order another scoop of ice cream, the child sees the poster on the wall of the triple scooper. And they go, I want that triple scoop. And now, being the kind and generous person that you are, do you now get them the triple scoop or not? No, of course not. Why would you set them up to fail? They couldn't even handle one scoop. What, are you going to load them down with 3 scoops now? Let me say this right now, my friends. We live in a loving and supportive universe. The universe wants you to win. It wants to support you. But it has the same rule. And the rule is simply this. And I'm going to nail half of you right now as to why you're not doing better with your money. It's simple. Until you show you can handle what you've already got, you won't get any more. Most people are walking around with 1 or 2 scoops dripping all over the place. It's a complete mess. And they're going, give me more, give me more. And the universe is going, why? I gave you more. Look what you did with it. Some of you are laughing nervously. Let me say this right now. You're going to learn the simplest, easiest, most effective way to handle money that you've ever seen in your life. A 5-year-old can do it, and 5-year-olds do it. And when you start handling your money like this, when you simply show whatever you believe in, whatever universal power, whatever yourself, your inner self, whatever you want to show, when you simply show that you can handle what you've already got, even if it's just $1, you watch. And I don't use this word lightly, but you watch as miracles occur for you. Things you could have never dreamed of, things you could have never planned of. They just start happening for you. Why? Simple. When the child can hold a single scoop, you are very willing to get him another scoop. True or true? True or true? How many of you got a big hit out of that one right there? Okay? You need to start handling your money in a very easy and effective way. Now, in short, you're going to learn a step-by-step method for winning the money game so that you never have to work again unless you choose to. Raise your hand if you'd like to have that choice. Raise your hand if you'd like to have the choice a lot sooner than later. Then we'll see you there. Now, part 2 is the inner game, conditioning yourself for natural and automatic success. And in this section, listen to this, we actually identify your current money blueprint. And using several extremely high-impact processes, we actually change your blueprint right on the spot, right there, right on site, right on the premises, right that weekend. We don't teach you how to change your blueprint and send you home to change it. Why? Because you won't. Why? Because we're creatures of what? Habit. Now, here's the thing. Did you know that there's 2 kinds of habits? How many? 2. How many? 2. There's doing habits, but just as importantly, my friends, there's not doing habits. And everything you're in the habit of, everything that you're not doing right now, everything that you're not doing right now, you are in the habit of not doing it. So we can send you home with anything, but you're not going to what? Do it. So we don't wait for you to go home. We do it right there on the spot. You walk in with one blueprint, you walk out with another one set for automatic and natural success. People ask me all the time, they say, Harv, do you have the Midas touch? And what do I answer? I go, no. I have a blueprint set for success, just like all of you can have. I look so forward to seeing you again soon. I hope I've served you in some way. Thank you so much.